Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Prime Property Podcast with me, your host, Jawad Chaudhry, and your other co-host, Raj Duda. We are here. This is our first episode. This is the details behind the scenes, or the details of how we made the deal. So, Raj, if you just want to introduce yourself a little.
Hi there, everyone. My name is Raj, and I work in finance, mortgage broker / accountant, and I've also dabbled in real estate over the last several years, whether it's been investment properties, whether it's been like mixed-use residential, commercial. I've done some house flipping as well. So now we're kind of continuing this journey and basically just doing a podcast about it.
Yeah, sounds good. Yeah, and I'm Jawad Chaudhry. I'm the owner of One Max Real Estate here in Hamilton, and I've been working with Raj very closely for about 15 years, and we've been friends for well over 20. So we look forward to this this new chapter in our life of being multimedia stars, I guess. So Raj, the whole point of this podcast is kind of to give some behind the scenes and some chit chat about how we got to where we are right now in regards to the project.
Yeah.
Maybe a little background about the project. We're calling this one the Woodburn Project because it's on Woodburn Road. Very creative. So it's finally the first time I think that we're showing the public some of the behind the scenes of our day-to-day lives, of how we do this and our success we've had in this business, and kind of just peeling back some of the curtain. Mm-hmm. So maybe describe some of what's going on with Woodburn and what the vision is there.
So initially we wanted an investment property. We wanted a house flip or a property rehab. And so we started dabbling into some different ideas. We've done a lot of residential over the past several years. Myself, I've lived in the rural area, and I've noticed that more people are willing to move out of the subdivision to go after that rural type living, where you have a backyard, a little bit of independence, and basically somebody's like not in your backyard, like right behind you all the time. So I thought, you know what, Joy, let's dabble into a rural property. Perhaps there's an opportunity here because the interest rates, of course, have skyrocketed, right? Making it very difficult for a lot of people. And some of those rural properties are sitting on the market. So I said, you know what, let's go take a look at one.
Yeah.
Right? And let's focus in on perhaps a rural property, something that maybe another investor's not looking at. And then we looked at a few. What jumped out at Woodburn was we drove down the street, and what did you see? We seen a lot of homes that were dilapidated. People are fixing them up, rebuilding, or putting a brand new custom home on it. So I thought, okay, there's a shift happening here, right? Yeah. I live on Fletcher Road. It's becoming fairly busy there, main artery right into Binbrook. And Woodburn's I feel like Woodburn's starting to feel like Fletcher 20 years ago. So then we stumbled upon that property there, right? Beautiful 2-acre tree lot. You usually don't see a lot of those. Most of it, like you're backing onto Farmer's Field. And right there and then I'm like, Joy, there's an opportunity here. Yeah. And you agreed.
Yeah. So. Well, I like that some of the houses on that street are like $3 million plus too, mm-hmm. Some of the custom builds. So it's when you can get a property in that kind of area, yeah, sure, maybe you're not building a $3 million property, but being neighbors to them definitely adds value to your home. So you're on the right track when there's money already being invested in a neighborhood. Mm-hmm. So you just follow along with that. So it's fantastic. So. Yeah. Funny thing is about this is that we did initially, actually when we go way back, when we started looking, I think we were looking at this area as a future possible house for like Casa de Duda one day, right? Yeah. But, and then we stumbled on this one and we thought, okay, this is a good investment property. So then what happened?
So then, unfortunately due to some life events, I still, I seen this property as a fantastic investment, right? And my kids actually my oldest daughter will be going to school in the area. So I thought, you know what, should I potentially look at this as a place that I can kind of envision myself living and having a future in, right? And right away I thought, okay, I have everything that I need. Like I have the size of the lot that I require. 2 acres, you could do a lot with it, right? You know, you could build another property, you could put a shop, you can, you know, there's just so many different things that you could do with acreage, right? So then I thought to myself, is this an opportunity that I'm going to get again, right? Like, am I going to stumble upon like this lot? And like later on in the future, am I going to want to do something like this? This is a massive renovation, right?
Yeah.
So then I said, you know what? Why don't I focus in on actually like building a house for myself, right? You and I have been working together for several years now. We just recently did the one on Hildegard. It was pretty big project. It was very successful. This is, I think we're lined up to do something bigger this time, and thought I would take this opportunity and convert it, change the mentality. Now I think I'm going to live there. So
yeah, that's fantastic.
Yeah.
I think you make a great decision. You're gonna, I think you know, like you said, you had some life events happening, and I think that there's nothing better than a clean slate, and I think a new home to call yours and for your family. You guys are gonna really love it, and the location is absolutely perfect for your life. Doesn't change much for you when it comes to your commute or your kids' schools or anything like that. So it's absolutely perfect. And you're still connected to the extended family. Everyone's about the same distance still, so it's it's fantastic for you.
I have my older brother. He lives in Thorold, so I mean, you just jump on the back roads, man. Like the kids are right back at hockey now, so getting onto the Red Hill or just getting down to the arena is even closer. So like, I didn't really feel like I was losing much. I felt like I was actually gaining, because now I'm going to be building a home that is custom to the way that I envision it, and a fresh start, right? So I thought, like, you know what, I'm ready for this opportunity. I'm going to take the bull by the horns and continue my dream.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, it's a big challenge that you're taking on, building basically a brand new custom home for yourself. And usually when you're doing an investment property, you're thinking about dollars and cents and profitability.
Right.
But in this time, obviously you do have a budget, and maybe in the future we'll go over some of the nuts and bolts if you're okay with it, just to share with the public exactly our budget, our costs and all that of doing this. So if somebody else wants to follow you down this road, they know what they're getting themselves into. But what would be really fantastic, or where was I going with this? I lost my train of thought for a second.
Budget.
That you're choosing items based on your own use now.
Right.
So I wonder how much this throws you off on your budget, because when you're buying for investment, like, okay, I'm buying this American Standard toilet, I'm buying like, whatever, Kohler taps, like, exactly, blah, 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 like, A to Z, like, there's no emotion, like, these are the puzzle pieces I have to put together for me to make this happen and make money. Now, you may be making other choices instead, because maybe you don't like, the American Standard toilet, you want to get one of those Japanese ones or something,
Yeah.
So how's that play into all this?
You know what though, the future goals never change, because for myself, although it's a property for me to look at, you also have to look at future resale, right? You don't want to go wild and put like, crazy colors and like, these vibrant countertops, backsplash. So regardless of like my personal taste, like there's going to be things that are in there that are personalized. For instance, I enjoy audio, right? I enjoy visual, right? So, we can hardwire Ethernet, speaker system, everything we need for the TVs, right?
Yeah.
And just ensure that like you have like a great home entertainment system. However, like I'm not gonna go elaborate and spend thousands and thousands of dollars on items that are not necessary. You know what I mean? So I still have like future resale. Like what if if I had to sell this property tomorrow, right? Something happens again to me, right? And you never know this day and age, right? Let's say my business takes a dive and things are not working out. I need to put this house on the market.
Right. Right.
So, you know, I put finishes in there that like a certain group of people are not going to enjoy.
Yeah.
Now, guess what? My selection, the pot of people that are going to come through it is going to change as well. So
Yeah.
for myself, it's going to be personalized, but it's going to be also a certain taste that a lot of people enjoy.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah, makes
So-
sense. Makes sense. So yeah, when you're making even personal selections, you have that in the back of your mind that,
Yes.
you know, in case I have an escape plan here, and this
Mm-hmm.
is and that's why I'm adding these values.
Yeah.
Would you have added like the audio, visual, and all that stuff if you weren't going to live in the house, or would you have skipped that step?
No, I would have skipped that step. I mean, like, with Wi-Fi speakers and all that kind of stuff, there's no need for it. But like, in order to get like the true sound,
Yeah.
a true home theater system,
Yeah.
right? I'm gonna have like in-ceiling speakers. And you know, like my home, I've always wanted, like, I don't know why, but I still think projection TV, like, you know,
Yeah,
projectors
Yeah,
and
yeah.
projectors are pretty cool. So I'll have, you know, something like set up for like a movie night for the kids,
Oh, yeah.
you know, a sports theme for the kid, or, you know, when I want to watch
Sports night.
sports and stuff like that. So I kind of enjoy that kind of stuff. But
No, you always had like the best audio stuff at your house, so that's been a thing for you forever.
yeah. So I think now, like, you know, I'm gonna have a nice setup. It's not like a practical thing,
Yeah.
right? You don't need it, right?
Yeah.
There's so many like Bluetooth speakers that you could buy with subs and everything like that.
Yeah, sure.
But
yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It's
Okay,
kinda-
yeah, I mean,
it's
you gotta
kinda
treat
fun, right?
yourself too, you know.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you're probably still following a real strict budget, right?
Absolutely, right? It's not like I'm going to sacrifice putting in like a home audio system and not have appliances, right? So,
Yeah, I guess you can't eat out every night, you know.
so yeah, no, I mean, hey, but look, there's so many things to consider when you're building your home.
Yeah.
But the one thing that I have, like, I have priced out, I've priced out 3-4 different builders.
Yeah.
The costs are astronomical,
Yeah,
right?
for sure, yeah,
For
yeah.
somebody trying to do it on their own, unless they're a lottery winner,
Yeah.
you know, you have this like, you know, lump sum of cash that's coming to you.
Yeah.
I think this is the best way to do it, right? Like, I've had some experience with real estate.
Yeah.
And
For real estate development, you mean?
that
Yeah.
real estate development. Now I'm going to take that experience and use the same contractors
Yeah.
in this project, right? Which is going to save me a lot of money,
100%.
right? Obviously, like, you can go out and get a builder, you can go out and get a GC, general contractor.
Yeah.
However, when you're the contractor on site,
Yeah.
and you understand the whole building process,
Yeah.
you're saving about 20-30% easily there.
Oh, I'm sure you are.
Yeah.
So, on this job, you're the GC.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And YouTube is your like.
It's my
encyclopedia or whatever?
basically, yeah.
so-
Yeah. I've read some books, you know, but honestly, like, reading the books does not transition from having the real life experience. That's why on every project that we've done, I've actually gotten in there, right?
Yeah.
You know, I'm in there doing like the demolition phase, during the framing phase, like electrical. Some stuff I'll leave alone, but I feel like you have to have a general knowledge about this insulation foundation. You have to have some sort of general knowledge, that way somebody doesn't try to pull a wool over your eyes.
Yeah, of course, and that's why experience matters. And when you don't have experience, it's really important that you hire consultants and whatnot that can help you on the way. You know, so you know, with your years of experience doing everything, I'm sure you'd be just fine. When it comes to the contractors you're using, you said you used them also in the past, right? Did you bid out the jobs, or just automatically go with the same guys again?
I always, obviously, I think you have to do your due diligence, and you still have to contact a few of them. Everybody has different ideas, different solutions, and a different price point. Right. So I think you still have to like do your due diligence and get a few quotes done. I still do that, but like at the end of the day, I know the guy that I'm going to use.
Yeah.
He's done my jobs for several years.
Yeah.
I'm happy with him.
Yeah.
And he's actually a good personal friend of mine as well, so I trust him.
Right.
So a big thing in the home renovation is you have to use people that you trust.
Yeah.
And communication is key.
100%,
Right.
yeah.
if they're not communicating, like you need something from them, they're not getting back to you, they're on another job, there's nothing worse for a homeowner to feel that level of frustration. So even if I go out and try to get quotes from 2 or 3 different people, I still go back to the original person because I know the way he is. Right?
Yeah, makes sense. Yeah. So, basically the guy you're using, it's his to lose. You get a couple quotes. That's what you recommend to anybody, right?
Absolutely.
That they should get like 2 or 3 quotes, get an idea what's going on, just to make sure that you're in the right budget, and
That's
that
right.
we're all speaking the same language, and Bob's your uncle on that one.
That's it.
Yeah, okay, sounds good. So I'm going to retrace our steps back to when we made the deal, and there was a lot of back and forth on it, and eventually we did end up getting a great price and a great buy on it. Do you remember what an absolute pain it was for us to get any small favors from this? The house was vacant, completely vacant.
Yeah.
And they were constantly battling us about taking extra visits to the house and whatnot. Do you remember that part?
Yeah, I don't really understand that because nobody was living at the house.
Yeah.
And during this entire process, I think it would be pretty natural to bring your contractors through.
Yeah.
And of course, that's going to lead to multiple visits. Now, these people just made this thing like a nightmare as we're trying to get out of the deal. Meanwhile, like we have every intention on closing. We would never want to lose this property. So it was just like a little bit of a weird situation. Had they been a little bit more flexible, I would have probably been a little further along in my project. But at the end of the day, we're still, let's say we're talking 2-3 weeks, right?
Yeah, exactly.
We're still okay. We're still moving along here, which is important.
Well, speaking of that, where are we right now? The last time I visited the site, you guys had removed all the drywall.
Yeah.
Any of the non-load-bearing walls
That's right.
have been removed.
Yep.
It's basically an empty shell.
That's right.
Why isn't anybody working now? What's going on?
Well, in my process, we try to do things like the right way. So, I mean, we could easily take, like, my contractors are licensed, right? They're professionals, and they carry a WS of everything, right?
Right, of course.
You can easily take down the structural walls and put up temporary, but we're gonna do things right. So right now, I have my architect who actually is in the process of finalizing the construction permits.
Right.
We actually had to, I was telling you a little earlier, right? We had to change our architect because the initial one that we hired it just wasn't working out with
The vision wasn't the same.
Yeah. So just in my gut, I thought it's time for a change, and I'm glad I made that change because the one that I'm working with currently is very detail oriented, and communication is excellent, and I'm very happy with her. So she's actually working. This part of the process takes a little bit more time because we're talking about a lot of structural elements that are going into that project, putting up an addition, right? Removing staircases, walls. There's a lot of things that are happening there. So I want her to take her time, and it's important that you follow, just like, you want to do things cleanly so that, when you submit to the city doesn't have any questions, and you can get that permit as quick as possible. You could rush through it and submit something, and then at the end of the day, the city might have 15 things that they're looking at. Right? So, like, you want to do things right. Yeah, we're gonna actually the work has stopped, and but one thing that we're looking at doing right now, probably next week sometime, is starting the waterproofing.
Oh yeah.
So we're gonna waterproof the 4 sides of the foundation. Very important, right? Because I'm telling you right now, like, it starts when it comes to building a house, it starts from ground up. If that foundation is not like sealed properly, you have cracks, you have anything that's kind of coming through there, it's going to make for a tricky time in your basement. So we're fixing that all up. That's probably going to start happening next week, and then the permit's probably 3-4 weeks out, and then the guys are ready to roll.
Okay, yeah. Sounds good. So that's great. So between you waiting for the permit, you can get other jobs done that don't require a permit, and you're working on that in the meantime in the background.
So right now, also like a lot of the stuff that's happening for me is the planning and preparation, getting all the sub trades lined up, you know, figuring out where I'm going to get all my material from.
Yeah.
I was actually the other day, I was using PowerPoint and just kind of figuring out for different elements of the house, like let's say flooring. I have my top 3 choices now for my bathroom, right?
Right.
The fixtures that I'm going to use, the paint colors that I'm going to use, you know, so on and so on. Just getting things organized so that like when we start rolling, right, when framing starts happening, it's going to happen pretty quickly.
Yeah.
And then like, you know, I was working on like electrical plan as well, because some things you don't think about is where you want outlets, right? You might want one, you know, in your kitchen island, you know, do you want a USB port, right? So the placement of outlets are very important as well, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Especially like, okay, like my son, he loves gaming, right? So he asked me to build him a gaming room. So I'm going to put some dedicated outlets so that they can support the amount of amperage the equipment will require in his room. I know, like, yeah, you have to now, like, it's crazy.
2023, man. It's not like,
You know?
whatever, like Nintendo or whatever anymore.
Everybody, EV vehicles, right? Like everything's going EV, so I'm putting in a charger. You know, I'm
Makes
making sure
sense.
that you know, I'm going to get 200 amp service in there, 1,000%. You don't want to build a house with less than 200 amp service because then you won't be able to get your EV charger in there. So I'm going to put one in there.
Yeah, it makes sense.
So
yeah.
you know, planning and just, you know, figuring out like what you want. You just you know, a lot of these things you miss because when building starts happening, you stop. You know, stop thinking about this.
Are you using a professional or interior designer to help you, or are you going to just kind of go with your gut or what you like?
No, I'm interviewing a few like this week, just because the design element is not not a strong skill set of mine, and perhaps they'll give me some insight and some ideas that I never thought about.
Yeah.
And just give me the you know, the final finish is kind of what everybody looks at. Nobody's looking at what I've done behind the walls.
Yeah.
Nobody cares that I put spray foam, R22 spray foam,
Yeah.
right? Nobody cares that I ran 200 amp like electrical panel, right?
Yeah.
Nobody cares I put a 2-inch copper line in there. Nobody gives a flying, you know what?
Yeah,
But if they walk in, right, and see beautiful light fixtures, a beautiful kitchen, right, nice bathroom, that's what people are gonna get excited about.
That's what ladies will get
So,
excited about.
well, we'll see what happens with that.
And then at the barbecues, the dudes can talk about the R22.
Oh, yeah.
and the 200 amp service that you got.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's when those conversations will come
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
And speaking of that, like the one nice thing that the new architect put together is a beautiful covered porch on the back of the house.
Nice.
Because entertaining will be like very important to me, like at that house.
Yeah.
So just getting that part of it done, putting it on your permit saves headache later on down the road because
100%, yeah.
you know what I mean? Like just, you know, if you're doing this once, just try to think about what you want and what you want to add for the future because, you know, putting it on a permit, you get all the issues dealt with all at once, right?
So you've taken quite a bit of, I don't want to say quite a bit of risk, but you've taken a chance here. You've taken a financial commitment, time commitment to do this. Are you nervous?
I think like with any sort of project that you get yourself into, whether it's a project in business, a project, you know, in real estate, there's always an element of risk. And of course there is of course you're a bit nervous to see how everything will go.
Yeah.
However, this right now, right, is a time that you have to do your planning, your preparation, right? So you alleviate some of that risk, right? And I think because I have a good team of professionals behind me, backing me, and I have great friends, supportive family, that I'll be okay.
So I think, folks, when it comes to projects like this, it's natural for people to feel nervous or to kind of, you know, they'll come up to the plate and they'll walk away and not actually try to swing for any chances because they think, okay, I don't know if I can do this, or, you know, they don't want to take a financial chance. But if you have the right team behind you, you have the right friends and family supporting you, giving you even just that kind of that confidence that, hey, like, don't worry, you're doing the right thing.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of keeps you on track, keeps you sane, and you're able to take on a large project like this.
Yeah.
So I think it's really important. You mentioned that you put together the right team, and when you have the right team, it makes life a lot easier, right?
Yeah, and I think even like over the last little while, like as I've been working on that project, I met some great people on that street, and I've actually like went in their properties and asked them what they love about their properties and like what they wish they had, right? So I think like just the internet's your best resource, right?
Yeah.
You know, even like social media outlets like TikTok,
Yeah.
Instagram, what people are doing to their homes.
Yeah.
It will give you a great insight. And like if you are the type of a people person, or don't mind just walking up to your neighbor and asking them about like how things went, I think it's a great idea. And like most people are very, very open to it. Like the people I've met on Woodburn, I'll just go up there, hey, how's it going? I'm new to the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I love your house. I love what you've done to it. Do you mind if I come through, take a look, and I'll share with you what I'm doing over there,
Yeah.
if you don't mind. Because at the end of the day, right? Like it's on you to become educated.
Yeah.
Right.
For
The more educated you are, the better you will be in the long run. And
Yeah.
and that's kind of like what I'm doing now. Like just trying to educate myself as much as possible so that we don't miss steps along the way.
That sounds good. It looks like we have a lot to talk about, but I think this is probably enough for the first episode. And just want to say thanks to everyone for listening to us, and hope that you guys continue listening to our future shows. And we'll probably get into more topics about real estate, about investing, and then obviously the projects that are ongoing that we're sharing with you guys. So, and we hope to even bring on guests. So if anybody wants to join us, just give us a message, and we'll add you in here one day.
Yeah, thank you very much for listening in on our podcast today. Hopefully there was a couple tips in there that will help you out now or in the future, and you'll tune in over the next couple weeks. We'll have some pretty exciting stuff coming up, and thank you very much, and we'll talk to you soon.
For all your mortgage needs, make sure you call Raj Duda, 905-517-6414. For real estate, Jawad Chaudhry, 905-928-0211, or DM us directly on this platform. All right, take care.